Good day and welcome to Did You Know 11 Tips and Tricks in M365 to make you more effective. My name is Stacy Deere-Strole. I am a Microsoft SharePoint MVP. I am the founder and CEO of a company called Focal Point Solutions. Essentially all we do is SharePoint and M365. You can find my contact information here, all my social media, and of course my blog where you can see information that I post from time to time. Feel free to check that out, and also feel free to reach out at any time if you have any questions. Today we're going to talk about audience targeting, teams, things like location, intranet, approvals, and stream. We're going to talk about Microsoft lists, form responses to SharePoint, managing projects, and filtering and scheduling. First off, we're going to talk about audience targeting. So audience targeting can be done in 4 different ways within the modern site. They can be pages, news web parts, navigational links, and highlight content web parts. So I'm actually just going to pop on over to my demo of the site here, and I'm going to show you some of the navigation pieces of it and a couple others. So up here you have your global navigation or your hub navigation. If you select edit here, down here you see the option that says enable site navigation. When that is turned on, if you go to any of the items up here that you have in your navigation and you go to edit, notice you have audiences to target. So if you set up groups within M365 for security or other reasons, you can use those groups for audiencing as well. See if I got any. Yes, I have a SharePoint service admin. I can select that, and if I say OK, then I can save. Then anybody that's in that group will only be able to actually see that in the navigation. Notice it went away for me, so now I can no longer see that. I, of course, then can go back in. Notice it shows it has audience targeting applied to it, and I can remove it. Now, once you set audience targeting, it will go away immediately, but it will take a little bit of time. So it's just got some jobs that it does behind the scenes, and then it will appear for the people that need for it to appear. The other thing is you can also do the audience targeting for anything that's underneath. So say, like department, you had 20 departments down here. You could select by department who is supposed to see those departments. So essentially it gives you the ability to streamline your navigation so that users only see the things that you want them to get to, and they can't see the things that they don't have access to. Now, also you have the in-page navigation, which is right here. You can do the exact same thing. Notice it's down here, and it works the same way. So you have a lot of options of what you want to show your users. One of the big ones for me is a lot of clients like the executives want to make it easy, so they want something to hear, but they don't want to show that to everybody, so they can use audience targeting to no longer show that. So some other things, like if you have quick links inside of your sites as well. Oh, I guess I don't have that one there. So you can have different web parts. Quick links is one of them. So if you have a quick links web part, I'll just go down here because I think news actually is one of them too. You can filter that one. So we'll go right here. And we'll just add a quick links one in here, and I'll show you that. If I go here, notice I can enable audience targeting. So I can have a multiple quick links web parts, and I can tie them to who you want to see them. So if you have quick links you just want marketing to see, but they want to see it on the home page, then you can do so with the quick link web part, and only they would see it. Then if they weren't marketing, then it didn't show it on the page. So you can also do it, like I said, with those web parts as well. Okay. We'll republish that. All right. I do have the items here inside of my presentation. There should be more than, when you get the presentation, you'll see all that. So teams. So shared location is one of my new favorite things that I've been showing a lot of clients. I've been working with a lot of construction companies or real estate companies, people that go different locations. So share location is only available on Teams Mobile. So you're going to go to your chat, you're going to select the plus icon, and you're going to select your location. You can select to share this location for a duration. So essentially it's like dropping a pin on an Apple iPhone, right? So you can say you'll be there for 30 minutes one day, always on. So if you're on a job site, you could say always on for a while. And then when someone sees that, they can actually select, get your pin, see where you're at, and then they can actually put the their address of where they're located, and they can actually get directions right to you. So that is a cool new feature that I really like. It looks very much like this. So notice you've got the map there. So adding an intranet is another really cool thing that I think Microsoft allowed us to do in Teams, because it allows for a little bit more of a one-stop shop for people. A lot of times there were things you want people to see in the intranet, but you also want to make things flexible, to get their content, and Teams is definitely something that you can do with that. So I'm going to show you how this works. So I actually have have my site up, so let's go here. And I'm just going to go grab the URL for this site. Okay, go back here. And notice I have a Teams down here for the Scottish Summit, and I have a channel for knowledge share. So say I want to share this site, the knowledge share site out here, so that people can go and they can get things out of the knowledge base, they can watch videos, how-to videos, that type of thing. So from your tab, if you go to SharePoint Sites, and once it pops up here, now notice it automatically defaults to the Scottish Summit teams that I have created. So if you had other pages or lists in there you want to show, but mine is somewhere else. So I'm going to do any SharePoint site, and I'm going to paste the link. And then when I hit save, now that site up there is displaying here. So now I've brought in a communications site, a modern communication site, right into Teams, and they can still do everything else that they're doing within their Teams. They don't have to leave Teams, and they can also participate in this site. Now I'm going to show you a difference. So if you look at this site, so everything from say down here down is all identical. What you miss is everything up here. You do not get the global nav, and you do not get the in-page navigation. So if you see it here, and then we go back here, notice you do not see that, right? So my understanding is Microsoft is coming up with a way that we can do this by pinning an intranet over here on the left-hand side. So that is to come. Also, the whole Viva thing is also going to allow us to bring things in as well, and that's full navigation as well. But this is a great way that you can share this. Now they can open this and use it just like the site, you just don't have any of the additional navigation. So if you're building a site to only be displayed inside of Teams, keep that in mind. Maybe use more quick links for like your navigation instead of using it up, the in-page navigation or global navigation. So just keep that in mind, okay? So the next thing in here that I'm going to show, here. All right, so we showed that. Oh, I'm going to show you some cool approvals. Has anybody played with the approvals yet in Teams? So this is something that I really I'm enjoying. So if you are here and you are having a conversation, say you're out in the field or you're someplace and you don't have access to your normal users, and you need to get their opinion on something. You need a decision. You don't want to make this decision yourself, right? So you have this new feature called approvals in Teams. So if you select this, I can say, what color is this supposed to be? I'll ignore my case. So I can say who I need these approvers to be. So these people have to have access into your team. So they have to have access to the Scottish Summit team. So I'm going to choose these two. All right. Require response from all approvers. So what that means is I need everyone to respond before a decision is made. Or if you just need one of them, one person to respond, then you can just say, hey, whoever's the first one to respond, that's what we're going with. You can type in additional information. And then, of course, I can add an attachment here if I want to. So if it's a picture of something that I want to show or get an opinion on, I can attach that. And then you also have the ability to add custom responses. So I can say, do we want blue or do we want green? And then I can instantly send it. Now this is a quick and easy approval. So I haven't done one in this channel before, so it says, hey, you haven't used this. Make sure you agree to privacy policy and terms and conditions. So you just say continue, and then it will post to your channel. So the individuals that I'm requiring a response from are being notified that they need to reply to this question that has been posted, and the information stays out here, so you're tracking it. So it's a quick and easy way to get people to to make a decision on something without having emails or pick up the phone, have a meeting. You can quickly just get your information that way. Okay. All right. So yes, I call it on-the-fly approvals. So it's really nice. All right, so some stream integration. So we have some different things inside of Teams as well around stream that we can do. So I've created a video channel down here. But of course, if I go up here, so again, if we go back to, like I showed, the knowledge share site, which had some videos and stuff in it, but maybe thinking like construction or even education or things like that. Say if you're doing recordings, very much like this is recorded, and you want to share them with that team. So maybe it's safety related or class videos that have been done. You have the ability to add them in to share. So notice you have the option to do a channel or a video. So I'm going to select a channel here, and I'm just going to start typing. And notice I have one called SharePoint Training, and it's company-wide so everybody can see it. And I can give the tab a name, so I'm just going to call the tab Training. And then I'm going to hit Save. And then you'll notice that the actual channel will post here. So any videos that going forward get posted to the SharePoint Training channel will automatically show in this team for these users. So you also have the ability to actually just do one video. So say it's a trending video, or you just have one video. It's like, hey, everybody needs to watch this. This is like how you get around at this site, or how you log in, that type of thing. So I'm going to just select a video. I'm going to type navigation here. There we go. Navigating in SharePoint. Tab name, I'm just going to call it navigating, just keeping it short here. And then I can hit save. And you'll see the difference. In the navigating one, since it's one video, it's going to take up the entire screen, and they can watch the video from there. And then again, you have the different channel here. So you could have different channels of different types of videos to share out here for your users. Okay. Okay. So lists. So Microsoft Lists, at first I wasn't really sure the whole purpose of Microsoft Lists until I started really playing with them, because I was like, well, we've always had lists, so what makes them so unique, right? So one of the things is you can have your own personal lists, and you can create lists for others. The other really cool thing that I like is the fact that they give you templates, and they've really set the whole new list when you create them from here, really setting them up for the next stages. Next stages for adding in flow, a flow or a Power App or even Power BI. It's essentially already set the stage for that for you, which I really enjoy, right? So, for a new list, you have some options. You have the option for a blank list, which is very much like what you're used to in SharePoint itself when you create a blank list. Importing from Excel, which I actually will demo for you. It's pretty nice. And then from an existing list. So you can choose, if you already created a list in the past, say you have like a feedback list or say a support ticket type of a list, and it has all the fields that you want, you just don't need the data, you literally can choose that list and then recreate it with no data, right? So you don't have to go through and recreate all of the columns and whatnot. All right. So like I said, it helps prepare you for Power Apps, Power Automate, BI, and of course Teams, because it all is very in there with Teams. So everything's integrated with Teams these days, right? So we're actually going to pop back over here to our demo. And we're going to go here to Microsoft. Actually, that's not my list. I want to go here, go to my list one. And then you'll see, so here are some of my recent lists here, right? And then I can go to new list. So blank list, like I said, everybody's used to this one. From Excel, so I think, like I said, I think this is really cool. So if you already have an Excel doc within your site, you can, or in OneDrive, you can choose that, or you can choose to upload a file, right? Why is my thing? It's not allowing me to upload. Why not? Interesting. Normally, I get an option to upload a file here, and it's grayed out. I do not have permissions to upload to OneDrive library. Weird, because I wouldn't know why I cannot. Hold on, we'll try this from. Considering I own that one, well, that's interesting. But we'll go over here, and we'll do it from this one. That's okay. Go here. It's the beauty of having multiple environments, I guess. Okay, is it not going to pop up here? Not sure why that's being picky. There we go. Try this one. Here we go. We go here. From Excel. There we go. Now I have an upload. So like I said, I could choose one from here if I wanted to, or I can upload. So I'm actually going to choose to upload. We're going to go desktop. We're going to go here. See what we get on this one. All right. So notice all the information came in here, right? So you also have the ability, if you don't like what it is identified it, so for title here, if this title is fine, yes or no, or if this actually should just be a choice, you know, because it's yes, I bet you there's some that are no. This could be, honestly, I think the name probably should be the title. This is task mode, auto scheduled. That's probably fine. Notice this is in days. So you have different things that you can put there. So this is a date. I'm not sure why it's not giving my date option there. But you just validate what you like, you know, what you want each column to be, and then you hit next. From here, then you can give it a name, your description. Description helps you find things, so you should always do that. Testing, choose a color, and then you can choose an icon if you want as well. Now notice I have the options. I can save it to my own personal list, or I can put it out there on any of my teams that I already have as well. So I can put it out there in a site for everybody else to use, but if it's something just for me, then I could just put it inside of my list. And then I just hit save, and then it goes out and builds the list for you. It seems like it's all a little slow today, but apologize for that. And then now you have your list. Notice it's a nice new format, very similar to like the Power Apps and all that kind of stuff, right? So, and it automatically brings in your content. And then you can start, adjusting it once it's in here to meet your needs. But notice, because I made this a title, it moved it over here, etc. Okay? So we're going to go back to lists here. New. So from an existing list, so like I had mentioned earlier, so I just created this sample project one, right? Or actually this testing one. We know it has data. You just saw it. So I'm just going to choose this one and say next. This one already exists, so I'm just going to give it testing 2. Give it a different color. Leave that icon. I'm going to leave it in this one in my list, but I could, like I said, put it in a site if I wanted to. And then notice I have that same exact list that I just created, but it has no data. So it allows you to very easily go ahead and recreate those, so you don't have to create all the columns. So if you have one that you're like, man, I want like 10 of these 12 columns, why not go ahead and use it and then just remove the columns that you don't need, right? So the other here, so is all these templates down here. So I really like these templates because some of them, they already have, essentially the basis for your flows already there. If you think about issue tracking, event itinerary, asset management, things that you can do. So like even travel requests. So I can choose that, and it kind of shows you how it's laid out. So like your trip title, your reason, your requester, your destination, travel start, travel end, your airlines, estimation. So it has everything out here. Like, okay, well, I think this is what I want. It has pretty much everything I'm looking for. I may want to add something or make some changes, but hey, I'm going to use this template because it's going to be very useful to me. So I call it travel. Notice it has a little airplane, so I'm just going to leave it that color. I'm going to leave it on my list just for quick, easy cleanup, but something like this I'd probably put on a company site. So notice now I have this template out here, and then I can then go in and start, setting up the flows. I can make any changes, add columns, remove columns. I can then open it up in Power Apps if I want to, adjust it for a mobile look and feel, so people can do it on their mobile as well as on here. But if you go to new, you notice you can see, you can enter all the information in here. Okay. One thing it does show, it will show you all the fields. You may not want to always show all the fields for the actual users. And this has a really good example. The approved, most likely you don't want all the users to actually see the approved, so they, approve their own trips, and, they could put first class airfare out there. So this is something that you would remove, but in the template, it will show everything. So you have to make sure you tweak it to what you really want to show the initial people, the approvers, etc. Okay? So very quick and easy way to really start playing with lists out there. All right, so here's just an example. Like I said, I always kind of put that stuff out there. So sending responses to a SharePoint list. So this is really dealing with Microsoft Forms. I'm sure you all have at some point taken a survey or made a survey, different types of forms that you've created, with Microsoft Forms. But what if, where do you want to put this information, right? So a bunch of use cases that we've done is like user adoption engagement, where you want to get users, do a quiz or do a survey / training type of thing to really get them used to, company bonding. You can teach them through a form. It's like one of my favorite ones to do is get to know your intranet. And then write questions, like when a client gets ready to deploy a new intranet, type in questions, where do you find this? Where do you find that? And kind of make it a game, right? So they fill it out, they're learning their new intranet, but at the same time they're filling it out because maybe they can win a $50 Amazon gift card or something to the company store, that type of thing. So it really helps, like I said, with user adoption, company bonding. Everybody likes a healthy competition. It's a great way to do training and sometimes not really let them know they're being trained, to provide feedback, videos with, then fill out your form for certifications, policy review, acknowledgement, and of course meeting polls, right? So what I'm going to do is actually go through setting up a form and then showing how to then create a SharePoint list and then have that content automatically go over there. So we're going to go back here and we're going to go to Microsoft Forms. I'm not sure why it's prompting me to log in, so we'll go back here. All right, so I'm just going to create a new form, and we're just going to call it Scottish Summit Feedback, right? And $25. Right, so then I'm going to go to add new. Then I can put in a field here. I'm going to say name. I'm going to say full name. Right, and I'm going to make this required. Here I'm going to do a choice. Did you like the session? Oh, I don't know why that just did that. Okay, so everything's being a little weird. Okay, did it save my other? It did not. Okay, so we'll try again. Sorry about that. Add new. Name. Make it required. Choice here. And notice here, I said, did you like the session? So it will add, it says, well, typically in this situation, people are going to type yes or no. I can select those. If I wanted maybe as well, I could do a select all and it would automatically add them. And then we can go here. We're going to put another choice field. So I'm just going to do all of them there. I'm just putting some random fields here so that we can get some information. Now I'm going to put some text, feedback here. This might require a longer answer, and we'll do it like that, okay? So then I can, of course, I can see my preview. I can see it here, right? So I'm going to, and of course, you can change your theme, make them different colors. And then, of course, you can always share. So anybody in your organization, anyone can respond. So in a situation for like a feedback, you could do anyone can respond and you can copy and provide that link. Or you could generate a QR code and you could put it on a slide and the users can do the QR code and fill out the actual feedback for you, and then you would get it into your system, okay? So now we've actually created this form. So what we want to do now is we want to go back to the site, here, and we're going to create a list. All right, so we're going to add an app, custom list here. We're going to call it Scottish Summit Feedback. Oh, see, I even prepared. Let's go over here. So if I go back to my site contents here, thought I had set one up. All right, so let's see what we got. So we have title. So I'm going to change this because we have this wonderful name, wonderful ability to rename now. Submitter name. Notice that, and here I'm doing a single line of text. So this is the thing you have to keep in mind. When you're setting up your list in SharePoint, everything has to be a text field. So like session. This one, another text, like speaker. And then this one, I can do multiple lines of text because remember the last one was feedback. So now I have the same fields here that I have in the form. Okay, so now if I go to automate and I go to Power Automate, create a flow, and if you go to show more and then see more templates here. Okay. Form responses to SharePoint. There's lots of templates out here. And for some reason this one has been a pain to find here lately. For some reason on my other tenant it's right there. I don't know why it's got to be so difficult. Trying to find it. There's an approval one, but I'm just trying to find the very simple one. So it's form responses. Don't want to create a YAML post. I don't know why it's been so difficult to find. It used to be right up top. I don't know why it's being so weird. Okay. We're going to do this a slightly different way. If I go in here, because for some reason it's not pulling it up, see your flows. Because I've created this one a few times. Record form responses in SharePoint. Okay, so let's go to there we go. Now it pops up, even though I used that same thing over. Anyways, all right. Forms here. We're going to go ahead and hit continue. Okay, first thing you want to always do is make sure you rename this. We're going to call this Scottish Summit Feedback Flow. That way, when you have it in your list and you need to modify it, you can easily do so. So here you're going to go choose. You're going to choose the form that you created. So we are going to Scottish Summit Feedback. Down here it's asking for the form ID again. We're going to go choose the same form. Okay, and now it wants to know where we're going to, where the list is that we're going to send it to. So we know it's on the root, and we do down. And now we got SS feedback, which is that's what we called it. And then you will know the fields pop up. So for title, if you remember, our title was full name. Like the session was, did you like the session? Like the speaker? Was the speaker great? Feedback, of course, was feedback. All you're doing is mapping the fields from the form, or from the form to that SharePoint list. And if you hit save, right, I always check my flow here, make sure I don't have any errors. So then it says now essentially you want to go fill it out. So a form, as long as you're in preview, you can always fill it out. So I'm going to say this is Mickey Mouse. He attended the session. He liked the session. He thought this speaker was okay. Great tips. All right, so I hit submit. Right, so if I go back here and I refresh in my list, then you'll see that the submission actually comes in here. So you will actually be able to come in here, see all of your responses. Then you can, of course, you can tie that to Power BI to do, reporting, all that kind of stuff that want to do, or graphs and charts based on the information. So you can get a lot of information from forms that you can bring it all into here. Now, is that something that you need to do with every single form or quiz or anything like that? No, it's not. But when you want to capture this information and reuse it, this is a great thing to be able to do. All right. So of course I have some of this stuff out here for you so that you can look at that. All right, so managing projects. So I was a big planner person from day one. And one of the things that I easily figured out is, because I work on a lot of projects. I got a lot of clients, multiple projects for clients. How do I manage this? How do I keep this stuff together? So I started playing in Planner, and I quickly realized that even because I have multiple clients, I also have projects that are pretty much named the same thing. How do you separate them? How could I save myself some time? So I found ways to create templates in Planner to make life easier, right? So I'm going to actually show you what I've done there. So in the hub, so this is the hub. I don't know if many of you guys have played in the hub, but it can be very overwhelming. So if you go, so like here, these are just some favorites I have, but here's all the plans. Now, if you're someone who actively uses a lot of project plans, this could be your day in the life. But finding something in here could be very hard, especially if, you have projects that are same name. So one of the things that I came up with was identifying clients by an abbreviation or departments by an abbreviation. That way you can easily group them together instead of doing it by project name. Okay, so that's tip number 1 there. Tip number 2 is create yourself a plan that is nothing but different templates. So this is essentially something that I had created. So like for every project, here's what we do for a project setup. So this is reusable. All we have to do is once we create this once, then any project that comes up, I can actually copy the task. Notice it's project setup. Right now it's in Plan PMO templates, but I can actually go to any other project that I have out there, and I can easily just select it and have it show up. So I'll create a quick one real quick here. Plan. All right, I'm just gonna make it private. All right, so now I have this one here. Notice my recents right here. So I'm gonna go back to my PMO template. I'm going to copy the task. I'm going to change this, and of course it's really close. So notice I can change the buckets. I didn't go add buckets to that plan yet, so I'm just going to throw it in the to-do. But if I had all the buckets already set up, then I could choose which bucket I wanted that to go in. Now notice I could bring over progress and dates, but I just want the content. So then if I hit copy here, notice it says it's copied. I go over to this plan, and there it is. So I could name this one now project setup. I can call this one design development. And we'll call this one migration. All right, so I can go back here as well, and I can say, okay, I'm going to do some M365 modern mock-ups. Notice here, I'm going to choose that plan, and now I can say, hey, I got design, can bring that over. Let's just go. So here we go. We'll just do this migration one here. The plan. Choose migration. Boom. So I can easily go through all the things that are going on with that project. I have everything detailed out. Now, it doesn't mean everything has to stay the same, but these are the, I've added things in here that are actually like 9 out of 10 times every project, this is like the process. Now, processes can change, but once you want to not have to type this stuff out all the time. So if I go out here, now I have them, but now I can modify them. I can assign the tasks, I can tweak them as I need to for this project, and I didn't have to retype everything. So I just saved myself a ton of time, right? Well, there's other things that you can do. This one works great for us, but there are things you can do by creating an entire project template. So you can create out all your buckets, put all of your cards, say for like a migrate, this looks like it's an assessment and branding project. So we do this a lot. We do the mock-ups, we do the assessment, all this kind of stuff, and then that kicks off another project. So I could literally, now I have this whole project set up, I can go here and I can copy this plan and create a new one. So SS plan 2. I can choose a group to associate it to. Right? So I can choose the group here. Or I think I can actually create a new group, which I will do here in this case. Now I could bring over priorities and dates, but remember, I don't want to do that. I can set up all my labels and bring those over here. I'm just going to hit copy plan. Okay. So notice it says copying the plan, your new plan will appear in recent plans. So in a minute, it should be popping up over here. There we go, SS plan 2, and notice everything's out there. So go create templates by project or just tasks, you know, a templated task like this. Save yourself some time. It's much easier to copy and move it over than it is to sit there and retype everything out. Okay. All right. I think we're down to our very last one, which is filtering and scheduling. So I'm going to pop back over here to this one. And we're going to go to the main one here. All right. I'll just close these up here. So I showed a little bit about it earlier, but if we go out here, actually I'm going to go to my knowledge share one. Let's go to that knowledge share site because I have it all laid out there for you so you can see it pretty easy. And I accidentally closed it earlier. All right, so if you see down here, notice I have, this is actually supposed to say knowledge base, but notice I have some articles down here, knowledge base articles, right? And then I have up here, I've got some user group videos. Notice these are also pages as well, okay? So if I go to site contents and I go to site pages, notice I have 8 there. But if you notice here, I have a category, so the type of page, either user group, or it's a knowledge base, or a news article. So by setting that up, by adding categories, what I can do is on the main page, is then I can actually use filtering here. Oh, I got to put my edit again. I can use filtering and say, in the document library site pages, use the view KB. So I created a view just for knowledge base articles. Choose this view if there was a folder name, which there's no folders in site pages. And then how many items do you want to share or to show? So you can do small, medium, large. Okay. And then by doing that, then all I'm showing here are only the knowledge base knowledge base articles, right? And then when I click on the user group videos here, the only ones that are showing here are only the user group pages. So they're not showing any of the knowledge base. So I'm really filtering all that type of stuff out, right? So also, if I want to go in here, I can't edit it, that one in there. Back to my site contents, site pages here. So say I open this one, this page here, and if I go to page details, or actually I need to edit first, there we go, let's edit this. Page details, notice I have this thing called scheduling. Where did it go? Oh, that's not what I want. Page details. Scheduling, if I turn this on, I actually can set a published date, right? So think about the knowledge base. Say it's being worked on. Say you only want to, you only want to show so many at a time. Or news items, you want to put 10 out there, but you want them to come off and go back on. You can choose when you want to publish these pages, and then they will display wherever wherever you have set them to, like in news or knowledge base, user group, that type of thing. Now notice I also have an expiration here. Expiration dates are no longer out of the box. Before in Classic you had an expiration, but you did not have a publish. Well, for expiration, now what you have to do is actually add, so you actually add the column to these site pages called expiration. We'll go back there. Oh, I guess it goes right here. There we go. Notice I've added a column here for expiration, and it's a date field. And then I'll just show you real quick here because I called it out in here. So scheduling on. And then in the filter, what you can do, so like news, notice you can set a filter on the page properties. You can do it by the expiration property that you've created, the column. And you say after and then today. So essentially, if you're putting in dates for expiration in there, and then say like in your news articles, in the filtering, if you actually just filter by the expiration day, then it will take anything off of it automatically for you, so that you don't have to manually go out there and do it. So a great way to add expiration as well as publishing back into your pages. All right. Thank you guys very much for your time and consideration today. I will be around for some questions. Hope you enjoyed it. If you try to, go through and do any of these things and you have problems, feel free to reach out. Or just if you have questions on a better way that you think that you might be able to do it, or need an opinion on, feel free to reach out. Thank you guys very much.